for this amazing webinar. Let's have some interactive session with all of you. So I wish everyone happy Teachers Day, first of all. Today is Teachers Day, and we should thank our amazing mentors on today's occasion. So just wanted to know, everybody is from where? You're from which part of the country? I request you all not to turn on the video. You'll get the opportunity to turn on your video at the end of the session, where you'll be asking the questions from our own guest today, Vikash. Okay, so Casey Gupta is from New Delhi. Where's everybody from? Let's make it an interactive session so that it feels great for everyone to talk. Okay. Guys, you can write in the chat box. There's a chat box right there on your screen. Okay, so Shreya is from Delhi. Okay, Salman is from Delhi. So, okay, Varsha is from Rajasthan. Thank you so much. Okay, Vikash's hometown. So there are people who are already following Vikash. Yes, Vikash is from Guwahati. We'll have the introduction session. Okay, so let me brief you about Vikash. So let's start the session now. So Vikash Jain is a co-founder of India's largest unclaimed investment recovery advisory entity, which is called Share Samadhan. So again, as one of the members told, Vikash hails from a small town near Kaziranga. He pursued CS simultaneously. Okay. Then he decided to move to Delhi with 5 of his friends to pursue CA. So Vikas also is a chartered accountant. He has worked in the industries for more than a decade. And starting from these amazing companies like CA Tires from Mumbai, Valueshapes for which is the world's largest KPO, and then a startup called Carnation Auto by ex-CMD of Maruti. And you'll all be shocked taking in the consideration of Vikas' experience, 10 years of the experience in the corporate, and since 10 years, he has been running his amazing startup, which is Share Samadhan. I will give the mic to Vikas to share about his amazing company and about the today's session. Over to you, Vikas.
Thank you, Chaitanya, for having me on your show.
It's our pleasure, Vikas.
Yeah, and good afternoon to everybody. Hope all of you are safe. And currently, the talk of the town is the COVID-19, and I'm sure world will not be same post COVID-19. Industry is opening up, economy is opening up. In fact, the world is also opening up. But and people are getting complacent also. And my humble request that our life is precious. Somebody is waiting for us at home also. Our family is also precious. So we should not be complacent even if the economy is opening up. In the same way, life is precious, so is our wealth is. We should not become complacent in terms of preserving our wealth. So today's webinar is largely hovering around the protection of your hard-earned money, wealth, and in case of any contingencies, how do we retrieve our wealth? So with Chaitanya's permission, can I share the screen?
Yes, absolutely. I guess I've given you the right. You're the co-host, you can share. Yeah. Please try sharing it. I request BVM to just turn off the camera. Please don't turn on your cameras so that we can hear to Vikash. Thank you so much.
So as I was rightly saying, this presentation is not about the investment advisory or any kind of investment thesis I will be talking to you. Little unconventional. So the entire presentation will hover around the protection of your wealth, your hard-earned wealth, and retrieval of your wealth in case of any contingencies. So, these are the varieties of investment which most of us do, right from our ancestral time. Fathers, grandfathers, they used to invest in a lot of financial instrument, whether those were old physical shares, old mutual fund units, insurance papers. So largely those investment used to be in physical form. Then other asset class, investment class was provident fund, where generally we work in companies, PF gets deducted. As a protection of our life, we do take insurance. Conservative investors, they do invest in bank fixed deposit, postal savings, real estate. So these are the largely varieties of investment, except some other class of assets also. So and we all know that if we keep on investing and have a long-term horizon, that's how only we can create wealth. This small example can give you some perspective where people who used to invest and who have invested a couple of years back, 100 shares of Wipro at this point of time, they are sitting at a mammoth investment wealth of 750 crore. 10,000, somebody who has invested in Cipla, the current market value of Cipla shares are 100 crores. So there are a lot of other investments also. Over a period of time, it increases manifold. But the million-dollar question is that we do investments, but what we do for protecting our investments? We do life insurance policies to protect from any kind of contingencies. So wealth protection is also equally important, as important as making an investment also. So here's the question. Are we complacent in terms of protecting our wealth? When I'm saying complacent, most of us who are part of this particular webinar, they are professional, they must be running their own entrepreneurship journey. From morning to evening, we do a lot of hard work. For whom we are doing it? We wish to have a dream home someday. We wish to go for a foreign destination. We want to create a financial legacy for our family. But most of our time goes in earning and then investment. But we all have to pose this particular question also, that what have we done to protect our wealth? So to answer this particular question, the first thing which should come into our mind, that are our family member aware about our investment? So they are the first, closer to your family, or it can be your parents, he or she can be your spouse. So are they aware about our investment? As I was saying, most of our time goes in earning this particular wealth, and investment, in any case, we do in a lot of financial assets, tangible assets. And the most important thing, that transfer of wealth to the right hand in case of contingency is also important, not just making an investment. In case of any contingency, we have to be prepared that whatever we have earned, we should ensure that in case of any contingency, that falls at the right place. So life is, uncertain. There can be old age ailments, there can be natural calamities, and everybody knows COVID-19. Who would have thought that this kind of pandemic would come, where the world was standstill for last couple of months? It can be any other uncertainty in life, disability, job changes. So life is completely uncertain. Let me share my bit of story, which was the genesis of this particular venture called Share Samadhan. At some point of time, we are three sons of our parents. Life was completely good. Everybody were happy. And in the year 2009, out of a sudden, my elder brother, he met with an accident and he expired. Now, after that, life changed 360 degree. Post his death, the shocking revelation was none in the family were aware about his investment detail. My parents, my sister-in-law, they were not at all aware about his investment details. And he used to invest in varied financial instruments, right from properties to partnership to shares to PF. But he was very poor at documentation. Half of the documentations were not available at home also. So it took me 3 years first to identify his investment, and then couple of years to retrieve his investments. Practically, I had to roam around from pillar to post to retrieve his investments. So that particular incident has, gave me a food for thought that if it can happen with my family, probably it can happen with anybody. That's how, after working in industry for 10, 12 years, in the year 2011, I started this particular venture called Share Samadhan. In fact, we say this as Sare Samadhan. So the point which I wanted to share with you, that we should not be complacent. We are talking at this particular point of time. What will happen, next minute, nobody knows. So it is very important that at least in our family, somebody should be there who is aware about our investment detail. Now, what should be done to protect your wealth? This is not rocket science what I'm talking about, but prior to my brother's this particular incidents, I was also very complacent, and I took my first insurance policy, first term insurance policy after his death. Then only I could understand the significance of term insurance. So what is 2-3 things what is very important for most of us to be noted, that family member need to be made aware about our investment detail. Family member, spouse, parent, somebody in the family should be aware about our investment detail. We should have a nominee in most of our financial instrument. Now in bank account, at least banks has made mandatory that you should have a nominee, and we should have nominee in most of our financial instrument, because then life will become little less hectic if we have nominee in our accounts. Otherwise, the process of retrieval in our country is too time consuming process. You should preserve the information in a structured manner. You should have a proper documentation at home. You should have proper file at home, or there are various mechanisms where you can preserve your this information. It can be with the help of technology also. A lot of digital wallets are also there. Now, succession planning. When I'm saying succession planning, this particular things we should all be aware, and we should pose this particular questions to all of us. Having a nominee does not mean that your wealth will transfer to legal heir. Most of us makes nominee and हमें लगता है कि नहीं हमारे accounts में nominee बन गए हैं तो कोई problem होगी नहीं. No, I think that's a wrong conception. Having a nominee is not the protection of wealth. A nominee is just a caretaker, not the owner of our assets or investments. I'll just give an example. I have a couple of bank accounts, I have a couple of investment accounts, and I can make a nominee to my friend also. So having a nominee does not mean that if something happened to the account holder, the nominee will become the rightful owner of that assets. No, he's just a caretaker. Legal heir will still have a claim, even in all the investments where nominee has been appointed. So that's where people do write will. When you write a will, then you make it categorically clear that in case of any contingency, X, Y, Z are the legal heir. So succession planning is very important. Having a nominee is just a way where you at least do not get into an hassle of doing a lot of formalities in terms of getting that money back. So if a nominee is there in our account, at least we are clear that we need not submit a lot of papers to bank. Immediately that money or investment will come into the account of a nominee, and after that, that nominee can distribute that particular wealth to their respective legal heir in the family. So yeah, having a nominee is important in all the accounts, and having a succession planning in terms of ensuring that will is being properly written. And people feel also that, will banane se probably it's a complex process. That's again a misnomer. You can simply prepare a will in a white paper also in front of two witnesses. Even an unregistered will also have a legal sanity in the eye of law. So ऐसा कभी भी नहीं सोचना चाहिए that making a will is also a complex affair. But if you make a will, at least in the family, there are lesser chances of having a dispute. So that's one way, having a nominees, somebody knowing in the family about the investment detail. And apart from having a file at home, you should also look for some of the digital wallet company. Of late, a lot of digital repository company also are there, where you can maintain your detail of your investment, a diary of your investment, even on a digital repository platform. So this also, why, based on my experience, bad experience when I lost my brother, 50% of my investment detail were not known in the family, my brother's investment, and we could recover only 50-60% of his wealth. Rest 50%, since nobody in the family were aware, he used to have a lot of partnership with a lot of friends. So some of our professionals, so we do have partnership business with a lot of people. We might have taken joint property in the name of some XYZ in the friends and family also. So those investment, sometimes not necessarily you might have those papers at home. So what is more important, apart from that particular file which you maintain at home and somebody in the family who is aware about your investment detail, I would strongly recommend that you should have some mechanism where you briefly maintain your detail of your investment in a digital platform. Because having your investment detail or having a file at home is also not 360-degree protection of your wealth. घर में भी कुछ हो सकता है. You can have fire at home, you can have burglary at home, you may misplace your papers. So once you misplace your paper, it becomes very difficult to identify. And even the person who did investment, he might also keep on forgetting. जैसे जैसे आपकी age होते रहती है, वैसे वैसे you may also tend to forget. So you should have a digital repository. So the one which we have also in our company, we have a Wealth Samadhan card, which is more of a digital repository system where you can maintain brief detail. In the, Wealth Samadhan card, there are a lot of other digital wallet companies like HDFC Bank is also offering. So that is something which is advisable. So do not bank upon everything that घर में पता है, घर में एक जगह रखा हुआ है. No, you should have a third place. That's important. Second, apart from somebody in the family, there should be somebody who does not stay with you under the same roof, should also be aware about your investment detail. Just to even give you an example, suppose Chaitanya is very good friend of mine, and apart from my my spouse, I made Chaitanya aware about my investment detail. She doesn't stay with me under the same roof. She's my friend. So in case of any contingency, at least somebody is there who is aware about my investment detail, and he or she can ensure that in case of any contingency, my wealth falls at the right place. Now, children are still younger. Husband wife keep on traveling somewhere. God forbid if something happens to a husband wife put together, what will happen to those children who is not aware about the investment detail? So the lesson to be learned, which was a hard way of learning for me, that your family member knowing about 100% detail of your investment is not 360-degree protection of your wealth. Somebody beyond your family should also be aware about your investment detail. On a lighter note, अपने country में तो अपने family को ही पता नहीं रहता है अपने investment की detail. Forget about XYZ in the family. But that is not right way. That is not correct. Making just investment, doing so much of an hard work. What is the fun of creating that particular wealth, which in case of any contingency, that does not get transferred to the family? So that is, something which is to be pondered about. So with that, these are, some of the very, important points which I thought I'll share with you. It sounds very, these things, we remain complacent in terms of not sharing investment detail, but life is full of contingency. We should not be complacent. We should ensure that our hard-earned wealth remains protected. So wealth retrieval. So in case of any contingency, what would happen? So just to give you this much value, gauge the value of this unclaimed investment which is there in the country. And country, the value of the investment papers which are just lying in rough paper or somewhere in the cupboard at home, including unclaimed, in our country is as high as 4-5 lakh crore. And the most important reason for that is due to the fact that the earning member of the family, he is not able to share the investment detail even with their family member. So the option is with us. Either our family is aware about our investment detail. Mechanism can be XYZ. You can maintain the investment detail at home or digital repository services which are available. But if we do not ensure that our wealth remain protected, then this value of unclaimed investment, which is currently 4-5 lakh crore, which would keep on increasing, and eventually it will go to Government of India. Now, option is with us, whether we remain complacent and then in case of contingency, it just remain unclaimed and eventually it goes to government coffers, or we do ensure that our wealth remain protected and falls at the right place in case of contingencies. Now, what can be unclaimed? So this 4 lakh crore worth of investment which I said, so those are largely lost investment, forgotten investment, blocked investments. So just to share little perspective of what remained unclaimed. So when I'm saying unclaimed provident fund, where people keep on changing their job. Some people, they do not transfer their PF from one company to another company. And if God forbid if something happens to that employee, their family might not be aware about those investments and that remain unclaimed. So 45,000 crore worth of unclaimed provident fund which is there in the country. In the same way, matured insurance, where premium 100% paid, but nobody in the family is aware about. So that matured insurance in this country itself is 15-20,000 crore. In the same way, mutual fund old units are there. Over a period of time, one unit might have clubbed, with some other mutual fund units. People keep a track of those investment papers. People keep on changing their addresses. And those are the major reason why the investment remain unclaimed. So reasons of unclaimed investment, investors make investment but do not keep a track of investments. Family member not aware about the investment detail. Some of the senior citizens, they are not able to interact with the authorities to claim their investment paper. Change of address is also one of the major reason where, I am from Assam. I did a lot of insurance policies from Guwahati, kept on changing my addresses, and sometimes I forgot my details of those investments. So we should ensure that all our addresses are up to date, so that at least our family keep on getting those communication even in case of change of addresses. NRIs of the world, they are not bothered to claim their investment. Once they leave India, they feel that will claim it over a period of time. The value of investment goes manifold also. Cumbersome process to claim investments. You can open a bank account in 5 minutes, but try and close a bank account. You'd come to know what a pain family would go through in terms of retrieving those investments. And for that reason, some of the people just give up. Some of the busy professional, they do not have time. Saturday, Sunday, they would like to give time to their family. And in this process, they do not pay heed to these investment papers. And over a period of time, the compounding impact also. So the investment runs into a couple of crore also. I'll just share one more example. When we started this journey 2.5 years back, we have been approached through one of our business associate in Ranchi. In fact, there is a place which is 15 kilometers beyond Ranchi. So it was in a small place. So father of a daughter invested in couple of shares, PF, insurance papers in 1970. And then 30-40 years father expired. Daughter didn't know the ABC of investment papers. She approached to one of our business associates in Ranchi. And then in turn, we handled her case. In 6 to 8 months time, the investment done by her father, which was only 4,500 rupees, we could recover 6.5 crore worth of investment for her. For somebody which has from a lower middle class family, 6.5 crore is a good sum of money. So sometimes it's a blessing in disguise if you invest and forget, but not everybody will be as lucky as her. We could recover 38 lakhs of dividend for her. And then last week she again came back to us and she said that her father had a bank locker. So in India, huge money is stuck up in a lot of bank lockers also. And in bank locker, if you do not pay your rent for some period of time, that locker gets seized. So we would be helping that client to retrieve money from that particular bank locker. And that can be a golden goose for the family who has got 6.5 crore worth of investment. So it can be anybody's guess what is there in that particular locker. So that is another way, but we wish that that day should not come, that family is not aware about those investment detail, and then we'll just keep on roaming from pillar to post to retrieve those investments. Problems faced by investors, as I said, many people, they lost investment paper, family not knowing about the investment detail. In my family also, my parents were not even aware about how many policy he had. There can be mismatch, name mismatch also, specifically in India, when girl gets married, her surname gets changed. So it sounds very this thing, but name mismatch is also a bigger problem. You have to get a gadget notification done, you have to get a paper advertisement. Sometimes signature also do not match. And death of investor without writing a will. Then there is a tussle within the family. And specifically when there is a death of an investor and nominee is not there, then the process of retrieval of those investments becomes more cumbersome. You have to get a succession certificate, you have to get a legal heir certificate, you have to, roam around from pillar to post to prove to the respective authority that you are a legal claimant. So transfer and transmission of investment is actually a time consuming process. That's one. Second, painful process. And obviously, one has to actually roam around from various authorities. There is no single central investment authority in this country. We wish that there should be one centrally monitored investment authority should be there, where the claimant can approach them rather than just talking to Investor Education Protection Fund separately, IRDA separately, PF authority separately. Top of it, if it is a banks, then you have to reach out to RBIs. It becomes very troublesome affair for the family. It sounds very easy, but जिसकी family में बीतती है उसको पता चलता है. Why I could say with conviction, because I've gone through the particular pain. So losing a family member, when you can't think of what pain a family goes through it. But उनके जाने के बाद भी, if their family, their kids, they are just left at lurch in terms of getting the wealth created by their deceased family member. That pain is something very few would imagine, very few would appreciate, who know their friends and family who just lost their family member. Hassles a family goes through. Does anyone want their family to roam around from pillar to post and see the number of authorities, touch points? When we talk about regulators, Ministry of Corporate Affairs, this is Reserve Bank of India, if it is share related, apart from dealing with RTAs, company secretaries, if it is a complex case, you have to knock the door of SEBI. So far as investment offices are concerned, multiple investment offices are there. Top of it, lawyers, cost accountant, company secretaries, so too many touch points. So that's where, when I had actually gone through that particular pain, I wish nobody in the country would go through that particular pain. If we are a little more, concerned about the protection of our wealth, ensuring that there is a mechanism to protect our wealth, life would become much easier. And that is the reason, I started this company, Share Samadhan, so that at least whatever we have gone through, at least we wish that, nobody would go through that particular pain. And with this objective, we started this company, and we feel that we are bringing happiness to somebody's life with whatever we can do. Now, how to get to retrieve your wealth? Some of the quick touch points. Due to paucity of time, I would just touch upon on some of the aspect which would be little helpful for you. Get hold of your papers, whether physical or electronic. If all your investment details are there, make a file at home. And apart from maintaining at home, just try and see that you maintain a digital repository somewhere, so that you are protected in terms of having those informations at some place. If it is shares, you can get in touch with the company secretary of any company. That is the first touch point. If you have any query, you can write to the company secretary of that company. You can get the name of the company secretary. If it is a listed company in BSE and NSE, you'll get the name of the company secretary. And there is an email ID which is also being provided for all listed companies. You can simply write if you want to inquire about the investment done by your family member. And apart from writing to the company secretary, you can also write to RTA. RTA basically is Registrar and Transfer Agent. So they are basically the interacting point for most of the listed company, and they interact on behalf of the company to all the shareholders. They maintain the investment detail of all the shareholders in the country, and you can write to those RTAs also, and the name of the respective RTA of those companies are also available in the website of BSE and NSE. In case of bank account, you want to get a detail, bank manager of the respective branch is the first touch point. And if somebody in the family, you are not aware about the old investment detail, suddenly something happened in the family member, and you are not aware about the investment detail. So you can go to the website of any bank. They do also display the detail of old account. Obviously, you have to give some detail to them, but you can get those detail of old bank accounts. PF, in case of any contingencies, even if somebody in the family is aware about with what all companies the deceased person worked, then one can write to the HR of respective companies. Provided somebody in the family is aware about which all company one worked. So that is also equally important. So we should be engaged in this kind of things, even in our family also. We would request, everybody in the family, at least the immediate family member, they should take some interest in the investment decision making. And at least even if they are not involved in the investment decision making, they should be aware about the brief details of the investments. If it is a mutual fund, everybody, most of them invest in mutual fund through their agents, or even if you are not aware about, any agent, so you can write to those mutual fund companies also to get more. So in India, it is not that the investment done by our family member would remain unclaimed forever. All our, whether it's a company, bank, PF, all authorities are there. They are acting as the trusteeship of our all investment. So it's not that those investment will go. It is only the process, which is a time-consuming process. If we prove that we are the legal heir, we can definitely claim back the investment. Some important website apart from BSEs and NSE for other investment papers, there are website called Watch Out Investors. If you want to complain about any company, there are websites of Score where you can complain about any company if you find it difficult to retrieve. So with that, before if there are certain query, I will be happy to have query. So I would just like to sum up that a great, that everybody is pursuing their dream, and everybody wants a happy life and a good retirement life, and also ensure that their family also gets their due wealth. So please ensure that we maintain a good detail of our investment papers. Family is aware. Apart from the family, somebody else in the family or your friend should be little bit aware about your investment detail, and so that at least in case of any contingencies, a family would not roam around from pillar to post. And even after doing everything, in case if you have any question, if you have any concern, company like Share Samadhan is always there, and we say ourselves as a socio-commercial organization, and we would be happy to assist you and to ensure that we'll bring happiness to your life. With that, thank you so much. Before I hand over to Chaitanya for the next.
Thank you so much, Vikash, for sharing this with us. The treasure of the knowledge has immensely is beneficial, and I believe that everybody should be aware about these things and the investment. And of course, you're there to help. So I would request all the participants, if you have any questions regarding the topic, or you have any of your doubts regarding the investments, please put in the chat box below. Also, if you would like to talk to Vikas face to face, I would request you to turn on your cameras and have the direct conversation with him. I'll unmute you. Okay, so we have one of the members. Paras, let me unmute you. Hi, how are you?
Sure. Hi, I'm very good. How are you?
Good. Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, sure. I'm calling from Hong Kong and I've been settled here for last 12 odd years. I have two questions. I mean, we have recently seen a wave of retailers participating in stock market, and if my memory goes right, in every crisis, whenever the stock market recovers from that, we see a flurry of accounts being open, and subsequent to that, actually, once people go back to their normal life, those accounts remain or become dormant. I have also similar situation back in 2008 and 9. What was the best way? I mean, just in case, if you vaguely remember the name of the broker where you have opened the account, but you don't have any record subsequent to that, there might be few stocks which have become penny or now being worthless. Is there a quick way to sort this issue out?
Yeah, so Paras, basically, yeah, that's quite common. People have a lot of demat account, and over the period of time, if you have multiple demat account, and you tend to forget some of the demat account which you have opened. But if you know the name of the broker, so probably you can very well reach out to broker directly, because if you reach out to that broker, the most important thing what a broker would ask, they need to just ensure that the person who is asking has to be a genuine claimant. So you have to furnish your name, your so-called address, which you might have given at the time of opening a demat account. If you have a PAN card number, 3-4 information if you give, I'm sure the broker would respond. Now, if the broker, sometimes, some of the broker might have closed their operation, they're not responding, then you can still reach out to NSDL and CDSL saying that, the broker is not responding. So broker are just depository participants. Still your information is very much available with both this depository, which is NSDL and CDSL. So as a next, this thing, you can very much reach out to both CDSL and NSDL, and they would definitely come back to you with a concrete status of your accounts.
Okay, that's very helpful. Can I ask one more question, please?
Please go ahead.
Yeah. So my next question is regarding the different bank accounts. I mean, in our career, when we hop cities, I have come across with several bank accounts, which over time then I've stopped using. And in my last visit to India, actually, I tried to close these accounts, but as easy as it seems to open a bank account, shutting that bank account seems to be a nightmare. They insist you to visit that particular branch. I mean, is that an issue that RBI is aware of, or is there a way where we can over phone ask those banks to help us shutting our bank account?
So Paras, yeah, you are thinking from your convenience perspective that that can we do it over the phone, but we have to ensure that from an RBI perspective, or from whomsoever who are the trusteeship of your investment, for them also it is very important that if Paras Jain is calling our phone, is he actually a Paras Jain whose account it belongs to? So ensuring that the claimant has to be a genuine, they would not like to make it over a phone. So, and that is also very important from your perspective. You know, Paras Jain is very common name. At least in India, if you do Google Paras Jain, I'm sure you'll get, you know, a couple of hundreds of Paras Jain. And, you know,
Yes.
from banker's point of view, it is very difficult to ensure that is the person who is calling is the actual Paras Jain. They may ask all XYZ question. So it is basically, you know, a process where, you know, banks has to ensure that the claimant has to be genuine. That's why the process of claiming is more of an offline. You have to write it, you have to visit it. But over a period of time, since the core banking came, now you need not visit to the same branch. You know, if you
Okay.
was in Assam, so probably now, if even if in Delhi, if you go to some other branch, probably they might say that you have to go to an home branch, but that is not the correct answer. From a known home branch also you can get it done, but it is all about see, unless until you are aware that it can be done from known home branch, then probably you won't be able to put a pressure on the visiting branch. So, but actually it is possible from known home branch also, but it has to be offline process.
That's very helpful. Thank you. Thank you both.
I hope, Paras, all your doubts are clear. So I request people who want to have some more questions and want to ask Vikash directly all these questions to turn on their cameras and get that opportunity to speak to the expert directly. Meanwhile, we regularly we have these weekly webinars coming up for the revision sessions also on the GST also. We have many other coaching classes which you can go on the website. I've all these updates that you want can be given to you on the Telegram and the WhatsApp group. The links of these groups are mentioned below. You can come and join these groups, and you can get the regular updates which are there on CA Club India's platform. Any other questions from any of the participants? Anybody who wants to turn on their videos and talk to Vikash directly, that's more than welcome. Okay, meanwhile, let's wait for a few queries. So I guess, okay, Deepak is here. Yes. Hi, Deepak.
Hi, am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Hi,
Thank you so
Vikas ji.
much for joining
Deepak.
and turning on your video. Yes, please.
Thank you, thank you. Vikas ji, can you let me know like what is the process to open the repository with you, and are there any kind of charges involved, or what is the procedure?
Yeah, so our repository is basically in the name of Wealth Samadhan Card. So this is more of a digital repository, and the process is very simple. This is as good as an opening a Gmail account, and you can visit to our website where we have Wealth Samadhan Card separate section, and it gives you a very, you know, easy process to just maintain a diary of your investment. So you need not mention too much of a detail of your investment. The purpose of having this particular repository is very simple, that, you know, apart from having our information at home, we are just keeping in an online repository which is encrypted, but at least, you know, protected. So in case of any contingency, you can just, or somebody in the family can access that repository and can see what are investment detail. And it is not just a repository, Deepak. You know, as an organization, you know, we are not only helping somebody to protect their wealth with the help of this repository. In case of any contingency, you know, we will be more than happy to assist the family of that person, you know, to retrieve their investment detail. So protection of wealth, along with backed by our operational expertise of 10 years to retrieve that investment. So that is a combination which we wish to offer to people at large.
Deepak, you're not audible. I think you muted yourself.
Yeah, I muted myself.
Yes.
So, Vikasji, are there any kind of annual charges for maintaining the repository, or like
Yeah,
it's just an additional services?
yeah, so this is our new service. So for first 3 years, there is a very nominal registration fees, and for first 3 years, we are not charging any annual renewal fees at all.
And how safe are your repositories? Like, are we exposed to the IT people, or the details that we save with your repository are exposed to any kind of leakage or anything of
Yeah,
information?
so yeah, that's a good question, Deepak. So one point, we as an organization, we ourselves are also not being allowed to access the investment page which is being maintained by the subscriber. And second, it is completely encrypted. So the person
Great.
with the user ID and password can only access this particular information, not even share Samadhan also, and not wish to access your information. The only information which is there with us is the KYC detail of the subscriber and the 2 emergency contact number of their family person, which is being given by the subscriber, so that in case of their contingency, their family person can approach us and we can do a fair due diligence before we send a new user ID and password to their family member.
Okay, that's great. So whatever information we are recording, that's been safe with us only, right?
Yes. That is with you only.
Thank you, Vikasji. We'll get in touch with you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Deepak. I hope all your doubts are clear. So is there anybody else who wants to ask something? So meanwhile, I will just take one question which came in the chat from Nitesh Chanda. He's asking, is there any online platform where we can update our investment details and keep updating them regularly? Also, share it with near and dear ones, any other platform. So, except from this, he's asking, I believe. If Nitesh, can you clarify? I guess any other platform he wants that where he can update his investments without even telling and just give it to 2 to 3 people.
Yeah, so Chaitanya, this is exactly which I briefed to Deepak only. So in Wealth Samadhan card, probably once you become a subscriber, there you can not only update your, not only mention your investment detail, maintain your investment detail, you can update it 24/7.
Okay.
With the help of app. So it is on the move.
On the move.
Bank account today, you just get into the Wealth Samadhan card, open it, update it, that okay, I have opened one more account. And so far as sharing those investment details with their family member is concerned, so there are 2 emergency contact number which we basically tell to a subscriber to maintain in that subscription wallet, and they can very well share the user ID and password with their family member so that they can also see it and can access
So
it.
the password he asked, that passwords can also be shared. His user ID and password.
So that is basically up to the subscriber, Chaitanya.
Okay.
Yeah, so if I want my wife to be aware about investment detail, so I will share my user ID and password then and there. But there are certain people who say that, I want to subscribe Wealth Samadhan card. I want to maintain my investment detail, but I do not want my family to know my investment detail at this point of time. So with that, what would happen? He'll become a subscriber and he will mention 2 important emergency contact number of the family, which probably he want them to be aware at an appropriate time. What the subscriber can do, he can give this Wealth Samadhan card. So they will get 2 physical cards. So they can give it to their family member, but their family member will not be able to access that investment detail so far as that subscriber is alive. But in case of any contingency, then their family member will be able to access that information.
Okay, so he also extending the question, he asked that can we also save various login ID, banks, etc. and password? Is it safe?
Yeah, so as I was saying, that the information is completely protected. It is basically encrypted. So it is as good as, you sharing you maintaining your Excel sheet and saving in the Gmail ID. So this is also a Gmail ID of your investment detail, encrypted, but in a structured way. You know, your banking account section is separately there, your PF detail is separately there, your demat detail is separately there. So it is largely in a little structured manner, you know, because see, I'll just share the same example of my brother. Had my brother was a subscriber of Wealth Samadhan card, so at least he could have mentioned in that wallet that I have had a partnership with 4 people. I took a property in the name of this XYZ, and I gave certain money to this particular fellow on an interest, monthly interest. So had he shared those details in Wealth Samadhan card, at least, you know, we as a family could able to retrieve that balance 50% of the investment, which otherwise we were not able to retrieve it because nobody in the family were aware about those investment details.
Got it. So I think that's all of the questions, and we are almost done with the time also. Thank you so much, Vikash, for coming on our platform and sharing this knowledge and letting us know this amazing platform of Share Samadhan so that we can also put in our investments there and give the passwords and login IDs to our near and dear ones. Just that if at some emergency, considering the pandemic situation, we are not there, they can at least know what all investments we made and get the fruit of it. Otherwise, it will all be wasted. Thank you so
And
much.
just
Yeah.
to add that even if somebody is not maintaining that detail, but still they are finding it difficult to retrieve their investment detail, they can very much you know, look for you know, at least assistance from Share Samadhan. We will be definitely will be happy to assist them. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for your time and having me on this webinar. Best wishes to CA Club India also.
Thank you so much, Vikas. It was amazing having you. Thank you, everyone, for attending this session. We'll see you in the next session, which is on 12th of this month. It is done by one of the partners of EY with CA Club India on AS and NDS. So we'll all request you to join that as well. It'll be an insightful session. And also we are giving away some gift hampers there. So we'll be waiting for you then. Thank you. Thank you, Vikas.
Thank you.